It's 6 o'clock. At this time, we're going to call to order the October 25th meeting of the Historic Preservation Commission. Present, I would like to acknowledge Laura Powell, myself, Elizabeth Jones, Jane Camp, Faye Rossi, Susan Brown. Also present are Brad Callender, City Planner, and Laura Wilson, Code Administrator. We have an approval of the minutes to go over next. Do we have any changes or corrections to the previous month's minutes? Has everybody had a chance to read those? Do we have a motion to approve as submitted?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have? Okay. So, motion made by Laura Powell, seconded by Jane Camp. All in favor? Okay, minutes are approved. And I do not see that we have any old business here. No? Okay. We're going to move on to new business.
Laura, if somebody's come before us in the years past and they've now begun construction, and in our mind, it doesn't look like what they're building is like what they submitted, is there a way that you can check on that?
Do you have a location?
We're talking about North Broad, the south.
North
The
Broad.
south.
Next
The
door
new
to,
construction that they're building.
Okay.
I can check on
Yeah,
that,
we can,
yes.
we can make sure.
Thank you.
Okay, for new business, the first item of business is a request for awning and signage, 115 North Broad Street. Do we have someone here for that? Okay, if y'all could come forward and just speak into the microphone. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Heather Drust. I own Cottontails. It's the new children's boutique downtown, and so we're requesting to put up an awning out front. It's an ivory linen fabric, and it'll be scalloped and in 2 sections outside our store.
There's currently no awning, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Do we have any questions from the public?
I was looking at how far the overhang was, which it's just in keeping with the others on the street,
Yes, ma'am.
looked like to me.
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't extend past where the Mercantiles is, which is next door.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second. Real cute.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
So that was unanimous, is that correct? Okay. All right, motion carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, the second item of business looks like is a shed, 122 3rd Street.
Hi, I'm Vicki Tuttle. I own 122 3rd Street, and I wanted to put a storage shed in the backyard. I think you all have all the dimensions and diagram for it. It's not uncommon in the Mill Village to have storage facilities. I've downsized about as much as I can, considering I only have 2 closets in my entire house, so could use a little more storage room.
I think the mill,
Not have seen this house. I thought that it has the shed already, or as you drive in right in front of where the,
There was a shed when I purchased the house, and it's in the, kind of like the far back corner of the lot.
I see it on your diagram.
Right here.
it's throwing me because I went down and looked, and that's not the house I saw.
Yeah, I'm right on the corner of Third Street and Second Street Court, yeah.
I think sheds were typical in these Mill Village areas because of the lack of storage.
And
Yeah.
it looks like you're gonna put it behind it says existing shed.
It'll be like back, along the back property line. On one side of the yard, the other storage shed's on the other side of the yard. But both of my neighbors on either side one has 2 storage sheds, one has 3. So I think,
Right here.
But you haven't started it yet, right?
no, this is,
And it looks like it's behind a fence. Is it there?
it would be, there is a fence at the back of the property. It would be between the fence and my house, along the back fence line. You just can't see the fence because there's a lot of wisteria overgrown on the fence, so you can't really see it.
I don't see a proposal of what the shed's gonna
Right
look
here.
like.
Say.
Am I not looking at the right
Yeah,
one?
right there.
I can see that, but I don't see,
That's the one that's the
Right.
existing shed. This is the proposed.
but I don't see a picture of what you're gonna have.
It's above that.
It's right above it.
Scroll up, and it's right there.
Must not be in the.
Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, it's black on my screen. Okay,
Yeah.
I just had to pull it up.
I'm looking at the wrong one.
This is one that's prefabbed.
Yes, I mean, they build it, but it is prefab. So it's not a metal storage shed, it's wood, so.
Does anybody else have questions? Do we have anybody in the public with questions? Do we have a motion?
I move we accept it.
I do too. Oh, second.
Can you word that, to say you accepted it, we accept it as presented then? Can you word the motion to say how it's accepted?
Oh, keeping in size and location as indicated by the map that she submitted, vote that we approve her shed.
We have a second? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Motion carried, thank you so much. Okay, third item of business, looks like exterior changes, 208 South Broad Street.
My name is Chad Draper. I'm the owner, JEC Development and the building at 208 South Broad. Our intention essentially is to match the photographs here, the historic photographs here as much as possible. The brick on the building and all the facade is largely intact with a few minor repairs needed, but essentially all we're asking to do is rebuild the storefronts pretty much exactly like the picture here. The center opening there back in the day was just open to the elements, which obviously we can't do. So the intention is that, and it should be on your drawing, to create sort of a foyer, for lack of a better word, that makes the front be offset to make this appear this way as much as possible. So we can have air conditioning and, you know, keep the elements out. But the goal is to look as much like this as humanly possible, so.
You're gonna recess the entrance, is that what you're saying, recess?
Yes, ma'am, the center
And
one.
it looks like it's recessed in your drawing.
Faye, can you see that okay?
No.
I can't either, even with glasses.
This is the historic drawing, and that line is essentially old-timey garage door that's up like this. And obviously that won't work for air conditioning and bugs and all that. So the intention is to create an awning that mimics that.
I got you,
that
I
line
see
there.
it.
Sorry, I'm blocking.
No, you're fine.
The awning essentially mimics that horizontal line.
But the awning is the only thing that's gonna extend forward. You're not doing an encasement around the awning, right?
This will be an awning, yeah, that
It'll-
sticks out a little bit just for rain reasons.
Right,
you know,
right,
and then
right, but you're not,
This will be like a,
and that'll be even with the building.
yes, and all the trim work and detail and profiles and everything will match this. You know, the idea is that this essentially goes in, you know. And then all the brick and everything is still there. And
It looks nice.
thank you.
I'm so glad someone's doing something with that
I know,
building,
I know.
keeping it
Does anyone,
historically correct.
do any of y'all have any questions? No?
Can we ask you what you're gonna do with it? Could we ask you what you wanna do with it? Not that that has anything to do with this, but
The intention is to make it a mixed-use facility and divide it up into smaller spaces. There's just not many businesses or tenants that can occupy the whole building, so the idea is to cut it up into smaller units, and it'd be a mixed-use facility.
Do we have any questions from the public? Okay, do we
Make a
have-
motion that we approve as presented.
Okay, Susan, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
thank you for working so diligently to keep it historically correct.
All, let me finish the motion, Ms. Fay. All in favor? Okay, motion carried unanimously. Thank you. And I love the tax credits. That's great. Okay, next up, looks like we have, this is fourth on the agenda, a shed, 123 West Fifth Street.
Two,
Is that not right?
208 South Broad is your next item.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Three.
I apologize.
Is that right?
We had,
Yeah, we sure are.
you're right. 123 West Fifth Street, correct? Okay.
That's correct.
123 West Fifth Street. Thank you so much.
Good evening, how are y'all?
Good.
My name's Keith Sargent, and I am here asking for permission to construct a 8-foot wide, 12-foot long storage building in my backyard. We sold my mother's house, which was across the street, and I'm tired of paying $162 a month for a storage building. So I'd like to build a small storage building in the backyard and put some things in it.
Fifth Street, that's the one I saw there. It has a storage shed now, right? As you come in the. Don't worry, I am too. As you come in with with the driveway, there's a storage shed there now, right?
It's built in 1989.
Are you taking that one down, or
We're-
where are you putting?
We have to speak into the
Yeah,
microphones.
I mean, in order to be, for everybody to be heard, in order to record you for this meeting and to record Ms. Brassey, both of them speaking to the microphones. So maybe that would help with the.
Okay,
audio.
no, there's
Okay.
a storage building, I believe it's a 12 by 16, it was built in 1989. I'm not taking it down.
And where were you
This
putting
one,
this?
this one will be almost dead center where my house is located, and it'll be about 10, 12 feet off the property line.
So it's to
You
the
won't see this,
side
my house.
of the one that's there now?
yes ma'am, it'll be to the right, probably about 10 to 12 feet from the one that's there now.
Do we have any more questions?
Is the one that's there now, are you using it as well for storage?
Yes, ma'am. Don't have enough room in it to put things from my mother's house.
Any more questions? No? Do we have any questions from the public? Would someone like to make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the shed he would like to build.
Ms. Fay, can you speak into the microphone? Not Fay, I'm sorry, Ms. Jane.
I make a motion that we accept the shed that he would like to build to store his mother's things,
As presented.
as presented.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, motion carried unanimously. Thank y'all so much for coming in.
Thank y'all.
Okay, number 5. Looks like 114 North Broad Street.
Hey, I'm Krista Carroll,
Rick Huzak.
and we make up Mountain Creek Enterprises. We own the building, 114 North Broad, and we are simply requesting to replace the arch awning that we currently have with a flat awning that was removed from 116 North Broad. We used to own both buildings. That one was taken off of 116, and we feel like the flat awning is much more visually appealing. I think that the arch detracts from our building. We've got some great brickwork up at the top, and we feel like the flat awning would help show that off better, and the flat one being a little bit more subtle, we think would enhance our building. I do need to clarify one thing. I had put on there on the written request that it would be at the same level, but we think after studying that a little bit more, that with the way it attaches and because our entrance is inset a little bit, that it would have to go up higher to be able to fit.
It's the same level as at the base of the oval one? Or the same level as the one?
We
that-
first thought that it would be on that. If you look at the picture, it's, you'll see how we have the windows. So above our front doors, we have that level of windows. At first, we wanted to put it on that wooden piece right there. But because that's inset and because it's not really, it would be a real awkward fit, we think it's gonna have to go up to actually fit up on the brick itself, to go up higher on that level.
Where you have the X on the picture?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
Okay, oh,
So it would be in line with the existing one.
Yeah, with the tiny one that's over the single door.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's on the brick.
well, and if we think back, ladies, you know, the one that we approved for Amiches, it's gonna go up above the windows. It's gonna be canvas, right? So both of them would be up above the windows, which, might be good. I'm thinking. This will look so much nicer than that oval and so
Thank you.
much
I think it
more in
will too.
keeping. I mean, according to our little book, we're supposed to suggest that people use canvas awnings. But since you're reusing one that's already a real nice, and it's horizontal, so it's not gonna detract like that oval does.
And we feel like with the small awning that's already over the single door, that
Right.
it kind of brings the building together.
I think you're right.
I think it
It's more
meshes
compatible.
more with the historic context of the neighborhood than the arched one.
Right,
I think so.
right.
All right, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions from the public? Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this as presented.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion unanimously carried.
Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. All right, number 6. Looks like we have a deck and shed for 225 Boulevard.
How are y'all doing? My name is Lee Wiles. This is my wife.
Hey, I'm Bonnie Wiles.
We live at 225 Boulevard, and we are here to get our deck and shed accepted. We have a deck that is it was a 10 by 14 deck. We are replacing that with brand new wood and extending it out to be a 45 by 12 deck. And then we also have a shed in our backyard because I work from home. Found out my wife is pregnant, so I'm making it my home office.
The shed is existing.
The shed is existing,
Sorry.
yes.
What was the original deck size, did you say?
10 by 14.
My concern as I looked at it head on, how are you finishing off, what are your plans for finishing the deck?
So the deck is gonna run parallel to the back of our house where,
Yeah, I can see that, but I'm talking about,
so where that is, we had to quit because there was a stop order on our
Right.
deck. So how it's gonna work is that end is gonna connect to the other side of our house. So it's gonna be like an L-shaped deck.
no, that's not what I'm saying. How are you finishing the side? It's gotta have,
Yeah, it's gonna be hardy. It's like, it'd be wood and it's gonna be painted.
the.
You talking about like the
outside,
decking part?
side, what kind of, you've got, it's above, you've gotta have some sort of keep people from falling off.
Oh, yeah, it's just gonna have regular, like, traditional hand railing. You talking about just the railing on the side? Yeah, it's just gonna have traditional hand railing with regular
But
pickets.
you'll have to have more than that, won't it, Brad, for the height that it is?
I don't, what are the heights of the
I
rails?
mean, it looks like it's
It's
so
gonna be, I think it's
36
4-foot rails.
I don't know the
done-
dimensions of those, that's not,
Doesn't it have to have something in between the handrail and the,
The height's not changing on our deck, and the deck,
talk about the back of the deck, it looks like it's.
I mean, but the base of the deck below the actual footing of the deck itself, or, I mean, between the footing and the
Right,
base floor, I'm not aware of any requirement the city has to enclose that, or put a trellis or anything.
okay.
I don't think there's anything specific that has to be enclosed or any kind of way. You can have an open deck bottom.
So as I look at it, it extends from the front of your house out.
yes, ma'am, so.
See it from the front of the house.
Yes, ma'am. So on the back of the house, we have a back door, and then it's cutting off to where literally where it was to begin with. It's equivalent to the back of our house where it cuts out. And then it's going out 20 feet, or 25 feet, and then it's coming into our house, connecting parallel to our house that way 20 feet. So it's gonna make it a 45 by 12. We just couldn't have a picture of it because
Can
we
I-
had to stop working
Can I
on it.
ask you to approach and just show us on the,
Yeah.
maybe on one of the pictures? Okay, so for, here, let's just-
Yes, ma'am. So it's stopping here at this gutter where it was. So it was from this side to this side, and that's how it stopped. So now it's coming from here, and it's gonna be stopping right here, and then it's gonna connect to this end of the house. So it's gonna L shape.
Okay, now, when I looked at it from the street, this is the side of your house.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is the side of your house. From the street, it looks like it comes out this way and then comes back. That it protrudes from, you see it from the street.
So if you look at the house, if I can talk to the mic, if you need me to, I can lean over here. All right, so there you go. So this is where the original deck was, from here to this side of the house. So we are exact same dimensions. From there to there is the exact same dimensions as the old one, but we're bringing it further out and then connecting it to this side of the house.
All right,
So
it's
it'll
gonna
be-
connect to this side.
Yes, ma'am.
and if
It'll
I
stop right
stand-
there.
But why am I looking at the street and it comes out this way?
Because we had to stop doing it, because we got a
You're
stop
gonna make
order.
it
We're gonna, no ma'am, so you can't, you see it where it's like off of the house, but if you go parallel to the house, you won't see it, because it's gonna stop where it's that L shape. So if you're going in, you see a massive gap right now, because we had to stop working on it. But if you come by and look at it, you won't be able to see it anymore, because it'll be connected to the other end of the house.
It's gonna be connected to, if this is your house.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not gonna come past this side.
No, ma'am.
Okay, that was my complaint.
no, ma'am.
Because if it comes out here,
It's not.
it would not be appropriate.
It's simple.
Okay,
No, ma'am, it's not.
okay. Thank you. Got it.
Does anyone else have any more questions?
I have to make one question.
Okay.
It's not related to the historic preservation part of it. In your application that you said the storage shed was already there.
Yes, sir.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you cannot run a home office in an accessory building.
Really?
So in order for the city to grant a business license to your residence, it would have to be, the home occupation would have to be inside the dwelling.
So I'm not running a business out of it.
Any home occupation, whether it's a home office, anything that we allow in the city that's considered a home business, we allow, but it has to be inside the dwelling. So if you're using the storage shed for home office, then we wouldn't be able to issue a license for that. But we can issue one for your residence where you can have a home office inside of it.
Okay, so my question, so I work for a big medical company, so I just get on my laptop out there. That's all I do. So is that what you're
Understand.
saying?
I mean, in order for us to grant you a license, that structure could not be used for that purpose.
Okay, that's fine.
That's all.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Any more questions or comments? Anyone in the audience have any questions?
Well, I have one. If you're not going to be able to use this shed for your office, what will it be used for?
I'll put storage stuff in there.
Storage.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept the, let's do them one at a time. The new decking, provided it does not come out, extend past the side of the house on the front. If I'm looking at that, it doesn't extend out.
That's perfect.
Okay.
We have a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Motion carried to approve the, I'm sorry. No, motion carried to approve the deck as long as it doesn't extend past the side of the house as it was presented. All right. We have a motion for the shed.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Oh, you know what, I went a little too fast. All in favor of the deck,
As presented.
as motioned?
Aye.
Okay, motion for the deck unanimously approved and carried. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back forward for the shed. We had a motion? Can you,
It can't be used for business.
Move that we approve the shed as a shed.
I mean, technically, you guys can't rule on land use, so I mean,
No.
you're just approving the
We're just-
form that he's
Yeah.
Put a
applying.
shed, yeah.
so we have we'll need to word that motion, I guess, as presented. Can you reword it, Susan?
Reword it.
We can't speak to the use of the shed in this meeting.
I move that we approve the existing shed on the property.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, motion unanimously carried.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
All right. Do we have any other business? No, that was it? Okay. We have a motion to adjourn?
Also move.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Uh-huh.
All right. This concludes the HPC meeting of October 25th, 2022. We are adjourned.